Hello guys, my name is Nor and today we're going to talk about the situation in this world and how can we become a creator through all these destructions, to all this chaos. So let's start. I think we live in an ocean of energy, which we can understand it only by our eyes. Only 1% actually we can comprehend and understand the 1% of the whole 99% from the source energy that came into material realm. Of course, there is much more than the material realm. It's much more above it, but we can understand only 1% in this ocean of energy soup. Everything that exists in this universe and in other universes influence us in any way. Everything reflected and the energy is flowing through this whole universe and influence us because we are collective mind, one mind, that we all connected to one source behind all this religious and thoughts and ideas that humankind create to be in a state of mind that they can connect with the source. They needed something, guidelines, something, a tool to be connected to the source, because this is what they are made of. This is what they are create. This is what they created all those years, like some kind of ideas and stories that combine everything and give us some tools to connect to the higher self, to the source, to God, to whatever you want to call it. As long as we are brave, as long as we want to discover something new about ourselves, that takes us into the unknown, which the nature love that we are coming into the unknown, because then it will start to create from the unknown. This is the originally, I think, the most authentic way to create in this world. And we start as a human being, as a species, to understand that it's all about us. The wisdom is not outside, it's within us. And as long as we try to figure out ourselves, to learn about ourselves from the outside, that somebody will teach us about ourselves from the outside, we cannot get into a situation in a right evolution that brings us into the next step of the evolution of the humankind. When we come out from our comfort zone, this is the right moment that we are feeling something that burns inside of us, some kind of a feeling that we need to conquer, that we need to develop in ourselves to achieve something higher than ourselves. Most of our life, we stay in the same routine, the same thoughts, the same behavior. We don't have the courage to create something else. We can copy others and we can take like inspiration from others, but the whole meaning of to be aware of your inner self is not by being influenced by other. We can be inspired by other, which is great and amazing, but we need to get into a point that we feel something that is belong to us and doesn't belong to everybody else. Each one of us have like a gift inside of us, something that we are really good at, something that we are really good at, and people from the outside usually do not acknowledge your essence, does not understand what you are good at. You're the only one that knows exactly in your heart what you are good at and what you like and what you love about this life. When you start investigating yourself, your own self, you start seeing so many gifts and you have to be confused a little bit. And that's perfectly fine because you are in a seeking mode. You try to seek for yourself. Energy cannot be destroyed. Energy can only build herself in a different way. Of course, energy, it's an idea, and this is only an illusion of our high conscious mind. But with every new thoughts, with everything that comes and destroy everything, we have the opportunity to build ourselves better in a higher mode. Of course, that's really depressed to see all the destructions, all the bad things, all the lies, but that's have to come to the surface in order for us to develop ourselves and bring something better to this world. To build something better is to go within the distractions, within the negative, within the darkness, within the shadows of ourselves. And we need to understand that we are not individuals, we are collectively one mind, and we need to build something better for ourselves. As human beings, we have the genes, the DNA genes, that always want to repair himself and go back to the source, to the creation. And he always rebuild himself and try to create himself through the 0 point energy, which is Yehovah, which is the Havaya in Hebrew, which is the present moment that exists from the 0 point energy that wants to create and flow around the universe and the cosmos. As humankind, we have the plus and the minus, the darkness and the light. We all have the same energy in our body. We need to know how to balance ourselves, to know our souls, to know what to build as something new in this world. And if we're so distracted by the media, by our friends, by our family, by somebody outside of us that telling us what is best for us, we cannot come into a situation of a new thoughts, of a new idea, of a new kind of us, of a new creation of us. In that case, we have to see the process that taking place on Gaia as a good thing. Of course, the darkness is in very high proportion compared to the light, if we can call it light and darkness, because it's all one. Because if we want to understand the light and take it to ourselves, we first have to deep inside the dark side and understand what is light, what we want to take for ourselves through the darkness. So that's why we have to be more understandable in this process of cleaning all the dust on Gaia. It's all come to a better place of high state of mind, to improve ourselves, to improve our life, to be better in this life, and this what's called evolution. We have such a limited spectrum of ourselves that we cannot see and comprehend all that exists in our DNA in the process of evolution. When we come to this place, to Earth, we forgot about ourselves in a matter of discovering ourselves in a better way, in a much higher realm, in a better understanding, in a way that we can combine our plus and the minus and understand both reflections and combine them all to one source of light. In our life, the society designed our ego in a much effective way to her needs, to what she wants to adopt. And you, of course, adopted and changed your ego and design yourself by the place that you are in it, like your school, your friends, your family, and everything else around you. The exit point, which every soul will reach, is a point that we are coming outside of divinity, and we understand that unity is our place, that we all need to be united. I think we all understand in this world, in this process of the coronavirus, that we want something else. Of course, we think about what has been in here, the nostalgic memory that we have, all this life on Earth, and we don't understand that this life will never go back as the way they were. I think life will be changed on this earth, and for good, I think, because people will be much more loving and caring for each other and come to a special place of unity. The creation tried to seek for herself a place to be inspired, to be known, to be seen. And if there is only distraction in here, she will not be able to come and bring herself into the surface. And we have to have these distractions in order to unite and flow around as a collective. Energy and nature always try to find some changes, something that changed and never stopped Never. The creation worked through this flow of energy in the cosmos. Without energy, nothing is really exists, and even energy is an idea that we thought about. Nothing really exists. Everything is just the idea that we have for something. That amount of attention and amount of focus that we have in our mind on something. A program that runs through our thoughts, and then through our feelings, and then through our actions in everyday life, in our everyday life. I always talk about the 0 point energy, which we all came from, the energy that's willing to create and bring something in a really courage energy to this world. For us to start create, we need to be really clean about our thoughts, because our thoughts bring an emotion, and that emotion push us to react to something, cause and effect. The cause came from the creation, and the thoughts that came after that came in the physical realm, which the reaction for the cause, which is the reaction for the cause. Everything is an idea and imagination that we translated through our pineal gland. It's like a scream that brings us the awareness of our consciousness, of our 90-70% junk DNA, all the statistics, all that things that we can be and we can create. And if we can hack this program and start to be spontaneous about our life and start to feel the vibes in a different way, the energy in a different way, we need to first, of course, decide to be in this mode. While we are aware to this side that exists within us, we can start and bring ourselves into the mastery level that we can create our reality. To be clean actually is to understand that the ego is not you. There is ourselves and there is me, which is different things. By the word me, I mean I am, which is different kind of thoughts. Because if we're doing things for ourselves, we are actually promoting the ego on top of the I am, which is much different energy than we need to be on. And if we want to create, we need to destruct and rule, I think, the ego. Of course, not entirely, because by the separation that we exist in here, there is ego, of course, there is no, and there is some other names in this world, some other entity in this world. And I think when we are realized that we are not ourselves, we are much bigger than the self, we can understand that it's only one big game, one big soup of energy, that we can work with this energy and create our own reality. So how can we create our own reality in this state of chaos, in this COVID situation that exists around the world? How can we take our tools that we are gods, that we are the creator, that we are belongs to the big light, and we are exist with infinite possibility to be anything we'd like in this world? How can we start creating from this state of mind? First, we need to bring ourselves in a completion with our good and with the evil that exists, that there is no good without bad, right? There is no light without darkness. When we feel love in ourselves, that we belong to all and everything belongs to us, magical and spiritual happen within us. We start to be more aware, more compassionate about others. We understand all the reflections. We understand the bad side and the good side. We like taking the plus and the minus and combine them into one and understand that we belong to both of them. And by our thoughts, every creation in our mind starts to be seated into a different kind of reality. If we disconnect ourselves from the outside, of course not entirely, because we live in a society and we have to have one another if we want evolution, right? We are belong to each other. But for a while, if you want to create yourself a different state of mind, a different state of life, We have to disconnect ourselves from the environment, for all the rush and the chaos that comes from outside of you, and go within. It's very easy to go to say to people, go within, go within, go to your heart. What does it mean to go within? How can I do that? Of course, you need to handle everything, all your thoughts, all your past, and understand that this is only an idea that you took to study more about yourself, to examine every part of yourself, and to stretch every structure in your geometric structure that you build from. And while you stretch these boundaries of yourself, you can reach into a point that you can feel different, and love become naturally. You don't work and you don't say to yourself, okay, now I'm going to work on my emotions, on my love. I need to open up. It comes naturally. It's come naturally. You don't need to work for it, right? It starts to becoming your own new self. Your own self is the new I am, which is different. Because we always have the ego side within us, because we need to survive. This is for the surviving mode. But I think the 7 chakras that exist, the 7 levels of existence that there is inside of us, that each one of them, it's like an exam, it's like a test that you have to go and pass it. And when you pass all these 7, of course it's very hard, and I don't think people reach the highest level of the chakras here on this earth. I think it's the work coming from the outside in this level, because you have to be without a body to get into the highest structure of light. But I think as long as we work on our shadows, on those things that we need to clean, and understand that emotions can be controlled. As long as we can short our reactions to our feelings, we can control our feelings, and then the reality starts to change herself. And then we can move without any boundaries, although it seems like a physical boundaries. We can move ourselves into a different statistics, into a different gate, into a different life. I think the most hard thing in this process is to go beyond yourself and go to the unknown. This is the place that we all scared to be in, because the unknown, we never have been there. It's a new program, it's a new state of mind. And when we go to the unknown, something great is happening, because your heart starts to beat finally. After all these years that you know it's gonna happen, the kids will come after school, and then you're gonna make them a lunch, and then we going to the soccer, and then we go to the swimming pool, and then we go to the beach, and then we come back. And it's the same day all over again and again and again, and nothing really new happened. And when you go to the unknown, something is making an opportunity for us to create, which is amazing. Which is the creation that wants us to start to be a creator. The thing is that human beings are so depressed by our fears and our anxiety that most people don't do brave things to create. They more or less stay in the same boundaries, in the same life, in the same place, the same school, the same job. I think our generation is switch jobs like every couple of years, because we need something change. We need to develop ourselves, and we don't find our place again and again and again. Because if you go to work when you're feeling so sad in these 5 days that you go to work, the 2 days that you have left, you always think about the day you're going back to work and how terrible it's going to be on Sunday morning. You're not in the present moment, usually, of course, not everybody, but usually. You think about all your things that you have to do at work, and it's not leading you into a good life. It's leading you to be more depressed than happy. Our focus in this world is the most important things, and the point of view that we have on something, and our thoughts is the most important things when we want to create. To create something, we have to understand that the light energy, the masculine energy is like a material realm, right? It's the materials that we want to create with. Feminine energy takes the light and put seeds in her belly and design it by her own will of both of the energy. But I think the feminine in this world is the creator of the seeds that the masculine energy are giving us. And if as a feminine woman that wants to create her own reality, that understands that I can create anything, I understand at the beginning of my awakening process that every thoughts, every emotion that I have inside, if I really want that, that will happen to me. I think all the women that are watching now in this video can really be identified with the fact that if we want something, it just happens, right? One way or another, you can bring it to the material realm and create it, right? Sometimes most of us are going lost in the ego passion, in the ego desire to create. And we get confused by the ego creation and the higher self. The ego traps us in those ideas that we need something better to feed him, because then he needs the approval that he exists. So it's like we are feeding him with the same thoughts, with the same emotions, which is like a drug that the body always tries to achieve. A lot of people ask me, okay, no, you said this is evolution. I understand, but when it's going to happen? How long we're going to suffer in this chaos? How long we need to get ourselves into a realm that we can start be the creator? How long is it going to take? Of course, I understand that evolution, and we all need to understand that evolution is something relative to the frequency that flows in this existence. As long as we are atomic particles that flows around this in this physical realm, everything is moving really slow because the mass is really heavy here. Everything is heavy. And once you are cleaning yourself and your ego, everything starts to be lighter and start to move faster. And as much as I wanted to say that everything is going to end in 2 years, 3 years, of course we cannot know, because everything happened spontaneously, and we cannot give prediction of the future because everything's changed in every nanoseconds. That's why if we understand, if we decided within us to change the reality, everything will start to be faster and faster. Of course, it's evolution and it takes time. It's not an instant moment that everything is going to change, unless something big is going to happen and everybody will feel love in their self, which I doubt it, because it takes time. I understand that evolution takes time. Of course, as long as we are going high and high and high, everything starts moving faster and faster and faster, and it begins to lose its mass. I think we all need to get within and try to take more knowledge about ourselves from within and not from the outside. Of course, we all try to seek relative situation, relative people that have been through all the experience that we are being through right now. And I understand that this is very rough and tough place to be. And I understand that this evolution takes place, but you cannot change the nature, right? Everything is going to come if you like and if you don't like. And if you don't like it, if you don't like the frequency that connected us to Mother Earth again, if you cannot achieve a higher state of mind to yourself and change yourself and take all the shadows, all the personalities that you built for yourself and get rid of, I think in the end people will leave Earth. Of course, that is not the final point Of course, there is no such thing as birth and death, because this is only a perspective, an idea, because we are infinite creatures that exist here. And the most important thing, I think, in this video is to start using your imagination, start using your different mind, the mind that we're sleeping for so long, and try to activate him and try to ask yourself, what do you want for yourself in the new life, in the new world that we'll create here? What do you want the world to be? How can you see the world? What is including in this world of yours? Of course, each one of us have his own world, and the whole world is created for you only. For you only to understand yourself, to learn about yourself, and to expand your boundaries, to expand yourself into a better human being. I suggest you do more meditation at night, even at 4 a.m. in the morning, or actually 3:33 a.m. It's the most effectively, I think, time to do meditation. And if you waking up by spontaneously, this is a sign that the nature wants you to connect with him. And it's a very good time to do that, because everybody is asleep and all the conscious mind of the people is not awake. Everybody is asleep. So everything is much more clear than in the daylight, which is different. And I think when we get into meditation at night, something within us, even if we don't know to point a finger on it and to understand it exactly, something is testing us at night, and something is changing in our body, in our astral realm, in our spirit realm, and in our existence on earth. That's it for now. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to my channel, Me and Roni channel, Roni and Nor Sapir. Hope you enjoy this video. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and if you want to comment, write me down below and I'll get back to you. That's it, my friends. Sending you all my love and hope, a lot of hope, and a lot of happiness and love from my heart to you. Bye, loves.